Hey everybody, my name is Tyler, and for the first 21 years of my life, I was one of Jehovah's Witnesses. This is my first video, so please excuse if it's a little crude. Obviously you can see my buddy Rooster here is in the room and likes to partake in things. Tonight I want to talk about Occupy Jehovah's Witnesses. There's a few points that I've put up that I'd like to discuss, so please excuse if I look over to my notes, just trying to make sure that I don't forget anything. Alright, you ready? You're going to sit nice? Okay. Why is it important to express things about having been a Jehovah's Witness? That can be a bit of a loaded question, but as many ex-witnesses will attest to, and I'm sure everybody will agree, it's important to be able to have a forum in which we can talk about what it was like living that life, the difficult transition in wanting to get out, and the recovery process once we actually were out. It's something that is vital to our personal health, both emotionally, mentally, and most importantly, spiritually. We all have many varied and different reasons as to why we chose to leave the Watchtower organization. They're all different, just like the people, therefore the perspectives are going to be different. It's going to be quite the mixture between all of us, whether it was due to reasons of abuse and the two-witness rule, things having to do with gossip, backbiting, the actual culture of being a witness, things within the doctrine, things within interpretations of Scripture. All of these combined. You could have read the Franz book, Crisis of Conscience. There could be so many different reasons one could have chosen. And because each one of us is a little bit different, our experiences are going to be a little bit different, it's something that we can all share. And with that mixture around the world, it's something that everyone can have a little bit of relation to, because while there may be one aspect that they don't quite get the importance, there's going to be assuredly another aspect where they can definitely understand why we made the decision to change this course of our life. It's a big decision. In many cases we lose everything and we have to start over from complete scratch. But we made that for a reason, and it's important to talk about. Why Occupy? Well, aside from anyone's personal political opinions of the Occupy Wall Street movement, there's something that I personally witnessed more on the human side of things, and that was a wide range of people with all kinds of different reasons, coming from different circumstances in life, coming together in one organized movement, talking back to the system that is the system in which our society is ruled, whether it be through the media and commercialism telling us what we need to spend our money on, what we should want to buy, the kind of lifestyle that we should want, climbing the corporate ladder, the system of fear and control that keeps people in submission to being okay with this way of life where our survival is forced upon us and we're not really living, we're more like drones. I saw huge similarities in that between that side of the world and the organization. And especially when you think about the powers that be want nothing more than to disguise the reality of things. The people out there talking about the true hardships that they're experiencing, not something just on a presidential campaign ad, but the actual people who get out there and are trying to do things in the community and actually make change from a small level to as large as they can be effective. The powers that be don't really want you to see that. They want that to stay in the shadows, and people who aren't part of the program, people who don't go along with the norm, they don't want that to be spoken about either, because everything needs to be part of the program. And that's really exactly how the organization is, especially when you're on the outside of it. You're dead. You are the black sheep. You don't even exist. And they don't want not only the people within the organization that they still have control of to realize how happy you can be on the outside, but then they also don't want the outside world to hear all the stories, because then the next time they go knocking at your door, there's going to be a lot of questions asked that they don't want to have to come up with answers for. I also learned that with a new perspective, change can be enacted. and that more and more people are starting to realize that though we come from different places, different parts of the planet, different perspectives in life, that we all have the same desires. We all love the same, we all lose the same, we all hurt the same, and we all, bottom line, want to be happy with enriched lives in all the same way. We as a people are one. People around the world continue to broadcast in their own various peaceful and sometimes mischievous ways that enough is enough. They're tired of the control, they're tired of this way of life. People are stepping forward, including myself, and saying that we are ready for a new way of living. And that can start right now, today, here, even just with watching this. Occupy is simply a means to tear down a broken system, a broken mechanism. It is a state of mind. It is much more than a protester in a Guy Fawkes mask with a sign. It's something that can be shared with everyone at any time, in any place. So with that, I can't think of a better way to enable even more healing and effect a change, both in the ex-Jehovah's Witness community, but who knows, maybe within the organization as well. And as this weekend marks the first anniversary of the occupation movement, as well as shifting into a new moon, I thought this was the perfect time to ignite what I hope will be a growing movement, something that can grow not just nationwide but worldwide, giving all of us, ex-witnesses and those that have been affected by the organization, a chance and a voice to step out of the shadows, to tell our stories, to be able to share all the emotions that we had to go through, because we all know that they were quite intense, and it's something that should be shared. We know for so long that while we were in the organization, and once we were finally out of the organization and in recovery, that our emotions were suppressed, our thoughts were controlled, in fact even our very spirituality was defined. Our personal power was turned into some kind of possession, some kind of gift, that if we had the right amount of hours in service, we raised our hand to comment enough, we placed enough magazines and books, if we were the shining JW, then all of a sudden that power would be given to us, that we would receive that along with everything that we needed from God and our plan for the future. We didn't have to think about anything because it was all programmed step by step. And in reality, that power is ours. It was something that was given and in some cases taken from us, that we were never told that that's what was going on, and all of us in our own ways had to come to that realization, and that's a painful one. And after we transitioned out of that, we learned so much about ourselves and this world that we live in, not the world that we were told it was. So this movement, Occupy Jehovah's Witnesses, is about love. Not the kind of love that we experienced in the congregations, but the kind of love that we found for ourselves in the world, the kind of love that we were able to see in others, that we were able to enact in ourselves and incorporate in our lives, something that's magical and beautiful, and that really is something to share. Again, if you can't tell, this video is about sharing, so that's the whole point. Remember that, share. The internet is a powerful, powerful tool, and as a physical fact, we can touch and relate to, talk with, and reach more people through the internet than we could physically in our entire lives knocking on doors. In fact, I heard one person put it this way, that if we spent our entire lives from infancy all the way to death actually meeting, as in having a conversation and shaking hands with someone, 3 to 4 people, hell, even throw it up to 5 people a day, there's no way that in our entire lifetime we would be able to reach as many people as a YouTube video who has 100,000 more hits, 100,000 or more hits. Think about that. How many videos have you seen that have huge numbers? That's more people have watched that than you could ever encounter in your whole entire physical life. This is a tool at our disposal for us to use. The more that we talk, the more that we are empowering our own voices. And the more empowered our voices, the louder they get. And the louder they are, it really drives the point home and makes our message of happiness in our freedom, the freedom that we fought so hard for and so hard to maintain, just speaks even louder. We can still be the proclaimers of truth that they taught us to be, just without their tailoring, without their control, and this time instead it will actually be a truth based in reality and not the stories with masks of righteousness that they told us since we were children. We have all grown into beautiful people. We live happy, healthy, and productive lives, and it's time not only for us to bask and share in that for ourselves and with each other, but so everyone, including the organization, can know and see that finally, and rightly so, it's about us, not them. It is about us, because it's about our consciousness, our spirituality, our emotional health, our mental health, living every day, actually living, and not waiting for a cataclysm, hoping that we end up on the right side so that that day can really be the first day of our lives. This video is meant to be viewed and shared, so please, again, the point of this is to share. That's how Occupy spreads. It started with just a few people, and in a very short time, there were actions all around the world. We have the chance now to start an online video campaign, blogging, making our presence very known, and who knows, we're creative people. We can come up with all kinds of ways to get our message across. So, make your own videos, share those. Use Twitter. You can tweet me at OccupyJW. There'll be more videos to come in a series on many subjects, including living as a child in the witnesses, sexual abuse, familial issues, doctrinal, social. There's so much to talk about that leads to so many different directions. I honestly don't even know where to start, and I know that the more people that see this will also want to start talking. There's a Facebook page, facebook.com/OccupyJehovahsWitnesses. It's a great place to go to set up videos, to make conversations, and for everybody to take a part in this occupation today. And again, remember, Occupy is a state of mind. It's more than a sign, it's more than a protester. It's something that can be shared with anyone, at anywhere, at any time. So let's get creative.